Good morning, yogis. Happy Saturday. Welcome. All right. Let me see. I think we may have lost somebody. So I'm going to give it 1 second or two to see if we can't get them back in. We don't want to lose anybody for yoga this morning. All right. I'll go ahead and leave the sounds on here for just another minute so that I'll be notified in case they come back in. All right. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Marita, I'm so excited to see you or be with you virtually. I've missed you, my friend. Good morning, sister. Good morning, Robin. Good morning, Milton. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Robin. This is from memory. If I missed anybody else out there, good morning, good morning. All right. We'll go ahead and start out on our backs. Take your time coming down into your first pose. Take a moment settling into the body. Take a moment softly finding your way into your breath. Relax all the facial muscles, roll the shoulders back, find a little opening across the heart. Coming into 3 cleansing breaths this morning. Nice big inhale through the nostrils, fill the belly full of air. Exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Another big breath in through the nose. Fill the body full of prana, full of air, full of life. Exhale from the mouth. Let it go. One more full breath in. Inhale. Hold at the top. Take one more little sip of air in. Big release. And gently settle into your Ujjayi breath. So we'll go ahead and softly breathe through the nostrils, starting to find those elongated inhales and exhales, finding the fullness of the breath, both on the receiving and the releasing. Maybe let the palms face down. If you're holding on to anything heavy, any tension within the body, any heavy emotions, just softly exhale or inhale into them and exhale, softly release them down to the earth. Allow that full exhale as you release, softly massaging that vagus nerve in the lower belly, allowing us to calm the nervous system even further this morning. Begin to take that inner eye gaze up to the third eye, softening through the inner edges of the eyes and softening the brow as well. Take another breath or two here. Hands start to come to heart. And as the fingertips align, palms come together, let's go ahead and start to bring some energy here in between the palms. Take a moment as we start to heat up the hands with that friction, finding a few more breaths here, and then finding an inhale of your choice. Go ahead and separate the hands and very gently cup the eyes, letting the thumbs come to that gallbladder point, right on the outer edges of the eyes and the temple. Continuing our journey through that gallbladder meridian for January. Moving through the energy of this meridian. Slowly coming into balance this month, helping us to make decisions and move forward to make those decisions manifest and come to life. A few more breaths here. Allowing your own intention to arise this morning, choosing your own focal point for your practice, and softly release and come back to the heart. We'll go ahead and bring the palms together here. Go ahead and create that friction and that heat one more time. Whether you're seated or on your back, let the hands open, let your elbows softly draw in towards the waist, your palms lift up, coming into prayer, releasing some beautiful energy out to our families, our friends, our communities, and the world that surrounds us. Connecting with our similarities, coming back to oneness, compassion, and understanding. One more full breath. Inhale that energy. Exhale, softly release. Hands come back to heart, taking a bow as we enter our practice once again this morning. Softly release. Hands come down alongside of the body and bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat. Take a moment here if we're just starting to wake up this morning. We'll take a little bit of knee sways, just softly releasing that lower back. Move at your own breath's pace. After a few sways, we'll bring those knees back up to center. Take your time. Hang out a little bit longer in some of these movements if you need. So once the knees come back up to center, we'll take the hands to the kneecaps. Find a little bit of rock here, side to side, ironing out the back, finding every square inch that needs a little attention. After a few more rolls, we'll go ahead and come back to center. Loosen the grip on your knees, and we'll start to find some knee circles here, just bringing that synovial fluid into the major hip joints. One big full circle with the knees for one full breath cycle. Let the knees come around opposite directions. And moving those circles around the opposite way. Good morning, Elizabeth. We're happy to have you. Come on in. So continuing to just warm up, go ahead and set your intention if you'd like this morning. If you're just joining on in, and then taking a few more circles here through those hips. Let's go ahead. Gently draw those knees on in, forehead towards the kneecaps, squeeze. And softly release, shoulders come back to the mat. Take a moment here, start to roll on to one side or the other. Come on into fetal pose. If you roll on over to the left side of the body, we'll be working a little bit with digestion here. Not only digesting within the physical body, but digesting what's happening in our lives. And if you're on the right side of the body, working a little bit with that heart energy as we lift the heart up to the upper chamber of the chest, working with gravity and letting that blood flow be aided. Doing a little heart healing if you're on that right side of the body. Take 2 more breaths here, just giving yourself a little squeeze, accepting all the unique little quirks, awesomeness that you are. One more big squeeze, and then slowly take that top hand in front of the heart and softly push your way on up. All right. So once we make our way up into our seated easy pose, let's go ahead and find the sits bones. If you need a little bolster underneath the hips, feel free to bring it on in. Starting out with that left shin to the front, hands come to the knees, sit up nice and tall. So we're going to take some seated cat-cows while bringing in a little bit of breath of fire this morning. We're going to go ahead and warm up the body a little bit with some breath. So as we sit up tall, we're taking that inhale. And as we exhale, we round and curl, push all the air out, draw that belly button in. And when we lift up, that inhale automatically sucks back in. So take these cat-cows at your own pace. I'll show my pace and then you can adjust from there. Inhale up, exhale. And this, all the breath is through the nose. Only curl the spine as much as you feel comfortable. Only tuck the chin as much as you feel comfortable. Take about 10 more breaths here, focusing on pushing that exhale out as you lift up. That rebound of the inhale automatically comes in. 3, 2, 1. Big inhale and hold at the top. Exhale it out. Nice big inhale through the nostrils. Sit up tall. Exhale it out. Beautiful job. Let's go ahead. Take the hands on up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth as hands come back to heart. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale through the mouth. Hands come down. On this one, inhale up. Twist it on over to the left. As you exhale, bring one hand to the knee, one hand behind the hip. We'll take a few breaths here, looking over that left shoulder. Remember, try not to use the arms to crank the spine. Instead, allow that exhale to allow the twist to deepen. Last 2 to 3 breaths here, looking over that left shoulder. Wringing out any energetic impurities, any things that we need to let go. Inhale it back up to center. Hands come up and bring them back down. Exhale. We'll take the hands back to the knees. Let's go ahead and find one more set of our seated breath of fire cat-cows. Inhale up, push it out. Three, 2, 1. Inhale up, hold the breath. Exhale it out. One more full breath into the body. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful job. Let's reach the hands up one more time. Inhale, bring it on over to the right this time as you exhale. Take the hand to the knee and one behind the hip. We'll take about 5 to 7 breaths here, wringing out that midsection, looking over that right shoulder, allowing that breath, that draw of the belly button into spine to find the twist. Relax the jaw. 2 final breaths here, looking over that right shoulder. Slowly exhale and bring it forward. Inhale on up. Hands come back down into the heart as we exhale. Beautiful. Release the hands back to the earth. So we'll go ahead, take the hands back behind us, bring the soles of the feet to the floor, find some wide-footed windshield wipers here with your knees. After a few little sways here from side to side, we'll go ahead and come back to our easy pose and bring that opposite shin to the front. Find the sits bones, ground it down to the earth. And when you're ready, let's go ahead, take the hands all the way up. Inhale. Bring them down into cactus pose as you exhale. I'm stealing this from Sister's yesterday morning class. I just love this. So when you're ready, inhale forward. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale forward, exhale right. Inhale forward, exhale right. And you only go as far into this twist as your body allows. So try not to go too far. We don't want to strain that midsection. 10 more. Three, 2, 1. Inhale forward, hands come to knees. Beautiful. Take a moment here. Inhale and exhale deeply. Ground the sits bones back to the earth. Beautiful. Open up those eyes once again. Let's take the hands up. We'll go to the other side. Inhale, exhale down into your cactus pose. We'll inhale forward, exhale, draw belly button to spine, look over the left shoulder. So inhale straight, exhale, twist. Five more. Inhale forward. Hands come down, exhale. One more full breath into the body. Inhale, hold. Exhale it out. Beautiful job. All right, take the hands back behind us one more time. Take the feet to the floor. We'll find a few windshield wipers. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and roll it on to the knees and the palms. Come on into tabletop position. So as we make our way into tabletop, take a moment here, finding that nice 4-point stability underneath you, hands under shoulders with the fingertips, each one of them pressed into the mat. Knees come underneath your hips, a little soft pressure into the shins to stabilize. Find a few traditional cat-cows here. Just move through the body and then take any organic movement that feels good here as well. So maybe you circle those hips around, maybe you big barrel roll through the chest, maybe you do a few C-spines, just kind of finding space where you need to this morning. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, bring it back to center. Let's take the elbows down to the floor, finding an Anahata Asana. So as the elbows come down, forearms stretch forward from here. We're going to walk it forward just a little bit so that the hips come right on top of the knees. If you have a block, you can bring it on in. I like to bring the forehead down onto the block, giving a little bit of a lift. Reach the hands up over the top of the head. And find that heart melting down to the earth. If you'd rather, you can bring the forehead all the way down. You can also ease into this. Maybe you want to put a bolster underneath the chest or the belly. Find the variation of this heart opening pose that fits best for you. We'll take 3 to 4 more breaths into this pose and into your body. Feeling that nice stretch through the lower belly. Beautiful. Finish up those nice full inhales and exhales here. Keeping our Ujjayi breath as we breathe through the nostrils, trying to keep that breath throughout our entire practice. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, soften the arms, walk it on back a few inches so we don't strain that lower back, and then push back up to tabletop. Let's go ahead, tuck our toes this morning, bring it up into our first down dog. As we lift up through the hips, let's go ahead, maybe find a little shake within that body. Find a little Shakti shake as we start to activate that kidney 1 point right underneath the base of the big toe, grounding it out. And if you'd rather, you can just pedal it out instead of shake. After that movement, settling into the pose, we'll go ahead and come back to stillness. See if you can soften your knees here a little bit. Take that right foot, step it over the left, and then see if you can sink back into that right heel. Press firmly into the right hand, get that nice right side body stretch. If that's a little bit too much from a down dog, you can come down to the knees. Remember, this is a little variation. Cross that right leg over if you're down on the knee, and you can look over that left shoulder. So find the variation that works for you. Take another breath or two into that side body along that gallbladder meridian, all the way along the right, from that right fourth toe all the way up to the armpit. Bring it on back to center. If you want a little shake or reset here, go ahead. And then we'll come to the other side. Soften the knees. Left foot steps over right. Sink back into that left heel and press into that left palm. Get that nice stretch all the way up the left side body.
Beautiful job. Remember, you can come down to the knee. Take another breath or two, and then you'll come on back to center. Go ahead and come back to that down dog. Let's go ahead, reset, shake or pedal. Start to come back to stillness. Take the feet wide. Walk the hands all the way back to ragdoll. You can grab onto opposite elbows here. Just kind of dangle through the spine. Let your head hang you heavy. 3 breaths here, in through the nose, out through the nose. And you can also exhale through the mouth. As you exhale from the mouth, fully releasing that diaphragm that's attached to that mid spine, so helping to release there as well. One more full breath. Beautiful. Let's start to make our way up, tracing from the 4th toe, top of the foot, outside of the leg. Come back to the glutes. Come forward to the hips, up the side body as we walk up to the top of the mat. Beautiful. So once we make our way up to the top, let's take a moment. Feet come underneath the hips. We'll find a little bit of a rock here on our heels and toes. Starting to activate those feet, those calves, all those teeny tiny little muscles there that help us stabilize as we walk or stand. Beautiful. Last rock or two. Move with your breath on that rock. Inhale up to the toes, exhale back to the heels. Good. We'll go ahead and lift it up one more time. Inhale, and then press it down as you ground. Exhale, soft knees, push into the earth. Beautiful. Come back up. We'll bring the toes a little closer together at the top of the mat. Take the hands up as we inhale. Eye gaze comes to the thumbs. Swan dive it down as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Bring a little bit of that earth energy to the heart, and then exhale back down. Step that right foot back. Coming into low lunge, untuck the toe, inhale up. As you exhale, sink down into the hips. Try to keep the knee above the ankle. If you need a little support, we can bring our blocks in here. You can also rest the hand on the knee. If you're feeling strong this morning, hands come up, and maybe even a little arch back. Find what works for you in your body. One more breath. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sink into the hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bring the hands down, softly placing them on either side of the foot. Let's lift that back right knee as you tuck your toe. Step that left foot back to plank. Modify on those knees if you need to. Nice and strong through the shoulders. Let's see if we can do our knee taps this morning. Left, right, both. Left, right, both. If you're doing the modification, lift, left, right, both. All right, one more set. Let's go ahead and drop the knees, take them wide. Keep the toes together, push it back, find a peaceful warrior. Feel free to bring in a bolster or support, maybe a block under the forehead or underneath the chest. Breathing all the way down to the lower back and the tailbone area. Setting down any barriers that get in the way of you connecting with yourself or your practice this morning. I am worthy of receiving beauty in my life. Slowly, slowly. Let's go ahead, push it back up. Coming on into tabletop, tuck your toes. Let's find our down dog. Feel free to pedal it out. Find a little movement here. Shakti shake if you like. And softly come to stillness. Separate the feet nice and wide. Walk it on back. Find another ragdoll. Maybe a little sway. Maybe a few full breaths. Maybe grab onto opposite elbows. Releasing from ragdoll. Trace that meridian line on up. Side of the leg. Back of the hips. or glutes, front of the hips, up the side body. Walk it all the way up to the top of the mat. Take a moment here, roll back through the shoulders. My dog is very sad and pathetic, wanting to come into the yoga room, looking at me like, you're so mean, Mom. Hands come down. Lift it on up. Inhale, eye gaze to thumb. Swan dive it down. Exhale, forward fold to the toes. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, back down. Step that left foot back. Come on into low lunge. Untuck the toe. Inhale it on up. Sink into the hips as you exhale. Find your variation. Remember all your options. Blocks. I love the blocks, giving you a little support for the upper body, allowing you to sink down into the hips. If you don't have blocks at your house, hands can come on tops of the knees, knee. If you're feeling really strong this morning, hands up, exhale, sink into the hips, maybe a slight back bend if you're feeling it. Bring the hands down when you're ready as you exhale and start to frame that front right foot. Tuck that back left toe, lift the knee. Right foot comes back to plank. I'll show the modification here. So if you're down on your knees, taking your plank, we'll go ahead and left knee lift, right knee lift, both knees lift. Left, right, both. And if you're doing the full amplification, it's opposite. You're up in plank, drop, left, right, both. Take 2 more sets wherever you're at. Getting a little bit of core work this morning. Burning off those tapas. Knees come down. Go ahead and take the knees wide, toes stay together. Push the hips back. Breathe through the nose. When I say burning off those tapas, I'm not talking about the Spanish cuisine. I didn't have it for dinner last night. Tapas are angst in the body, energy that we need to burn off so that we can find a clear mind, so we can find a healthy body. So take a few more breaths here. Peaceful warrior, knees are wide, toes are touching. Any variation of the upper body. Find your support where you need it. And slowly come back to tabletop. So let's bring the hands back to the mat. Knees come under the hips. Let's find our down dog once again. Tuck your toes, hips lift up. Stretch out that dog. When you're ready, let's start to take that right leg back. Inhale, lift to 3-legged dog. Bend your knee. See if you want to circle through the hip here a little bit. This can also be done from tabletop if you'd rather. And after a few more circles of that right knee, bring it back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Come on into lunge. Turn out that back foot. Let's bring it up to our warrior 2 this morning. Find your base or your foot stance. Right toes are facing to the top of the mat. That left foot parallel with the end of the mat. Sink down a little bit. Find the distance of your feet that works for you. Hands out from the shoulders. Look over the right hand. Soft tuck of the tailbone, lifting up tall through that Sushumna spinal column. Find a little wiggle here in the waist. Come back to center, flip the right hand up, reverse it. That's a good song. Flip it and reverse it. Few more breaths. Obviously, I did a class before that. Those endorphins are going. Left hand can come across the lower back. 2 more breaths, lifting up through the right fingertips. Bring it on back, warrior 2. Reach the right fingertips forward, come down to that extended side angle. Left hand comes up and over. Draw back through that left shoulder. Take a few circles here, playing a little bit of air guitar. Draw that energy through that left meridian line. Hand comes back up, extended side angle. Stay strong in that base right shoulder. Try not to collapse down into it. Inhale back up. Beautiful. Straighten the legs. Take the toes forward. Hands come to hips. So go ahead and shorten your stance a little bit here as we come on into our goddess pose this morning. Start to turn our toes out about 45 degrees. And we'll come on down into our goddess pose, sink into the hips. Adjust your stance so that the knees stay on top of the ankles. Tuck that tailbone under. Lift up the hands, bring the elbows on down. Exhale. Double inhale through the nose, lift up. Double exhale through the mouth, bring it down. 5 more. Beautiful. Take the hands to the knees. Let's go ahead and twist. Push the right knee. Lean the right shoulder in as you look to the left side. Breathe. Bring it back up to center. Push that left hand to left knee. Lean the left shoulder in as you look to the right. Beautiful job. One more breath. Slowly come back to center. Lift it on up. So let's go ahead, turn the toes forward on that right foot. Turn the toes to the left on the left foot and sink it down into your warrior 2 once again on this side. Hands come out from the shoulders. Eye gaze over the left hand and fingertips. Tucking that tailbone under. Lift the energy up the spine. Beautiful. Find a little wiggle. Let's go ahead, flip it, reverse it. Right hand back, behind the hips, finding a little more opening through the right shoulder and chest. Left hand reaches up, drawing the breath down and through the left fingertips into the body. 2 more breaths here. Slowly bring it back to that warrior 2. Reach through the left fingertips, bring it on down. Right hand reaches up and over. Extended side angle here. Right shoulder draws back a little. Circle through that arm. Playing a little bit of air guitar this morning. Draw that energy through the right side of that meridian. Hand comes up. Slowly lift. Warrior 2. Inhale. Cartwheel those hands down and frame that front left foot, pivoting on that back toe. Left leg comes back. Down dog. Finding ourselves a full 180 degrees, opposite direction, bounce it out or pedal it out. And bring it onto the knees. Take the knees wide, toes touch, have a seat back. Peaceful warrior, once again, calming down the heart rate, reconnecting with that breath. Two to three more breaths here, breathing into the lower back and tailbone area, softening the heart and the belly to the earth. Let's go ahead, slowly push it on back up, finding your way to tabletop. And then down dog. We're going to be coming into a pigeon pose next. So if you'd rather take pigeon pose from the back, you can make your way there. I'll guide you through both. I'll start out with full pigeon pose. So for those of you in down dog, we'll go ahead and start out with that left leg back. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Circling through that knee. Circling through that hip. Left leg comes back. Inhale. Take the left knee forward to left wrist. Come on down. Stretch back through the right leg. Take a moment here. Lift up tall to the palms. I think the mailman is coming early. Let's find a little spinal lengthening here. When you're ready, exhale, reach it forward. Drop the chin. Inhale, lift the back of the head. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward, and inhale, lift. Make your way down into your pigeon pose, bringing in any blocks or bolsters that you need to, maybe underneath that left hip. For those of you on your back, we'll be working with that same leg. So the left leg comes up, bend through that left knee, drop it over to the right leg. And you can take the left hand, pushing that left knee forward. You can also deepen the stretch by lifting that right leg up, holding onto the back of that hamstring. Make sure that the shoulders can lean back into the earth. Whatever variation of pigeon you're in, let's see if we can find about 10 more breaths here. As we work through this month's Gallbladder Meridian, the emotion of the gallbladder is anger. And we don't need to villainize anger. It has its purpose. It's just how we move through that emotion and how we show it. So as we come down into pigeon pose, remember the affirmation here of this posture is forgiveness. And so as we process through that emotion of anger, drawing that forgiveness energy into our lives, allowing us to process, allowing us to move through. Inhale fully into the body and exhale fully. If you're on your back in pigeon or whether you're in full pigeon, you can activate the energy of that meridian a little bit more by either just holding on to the temples with the 2 fingers. You can also hold on to the 4th toe, the beginning and end points of that meridian. Final few breaths here, whatever variation of pigeon you've taken. Breathing that forgiveness in. Lovingly forgiving ourselves and others. Finding a little grace. None of us have the instruction book on how to be human. Our whole purpose is to move our way through life, maybe making quote unquote mistakes so that we can learn. Final few breaths here. Keep the neck long, especially in full pigeon. And when you're ready to come out, we'll go ahead. Those of you in full pigeon, walk your hands back up to the palms. We'll tuck that back right toe, lift the hips up, and take that left foot back. Take a moment here to walk out your dog, getting blood flow back in that left leg. If you're on your back in pigeon, go ahead and hang out. Hold the pose a little longer. After we find that little reset from pigeon in down dog or tabletop, we'll take that right leg back. Inhale. Circle through that hip once again. Right leg comes back. Inhale. Take the knee forward to the wrist. Come on down into pigeon. Those of you on your back, hang out there for just a few more breaths, or whenever you're ready to come out, you can. Take a few windshield wipers. Full pigeoners, find that length in the spine. Inhale, reach that heart forward, tuck the chin in. Inhale, lift the energy up the spine. Exhale, actually forward, reach the heart, tuck the chin, inhale. Find about 2 or 3 more, and then find your way down into your full pigeon pose. So full pigeoners, you're all set. Take a moment, breathe in that pose. For those of you on your back, come on out of the left side. You can find a few windshield wipers here, and then we'll lift that right leg up towards the ceiling. Drop that left foot, right foot over to the left knee. And maybe right hand pushes that right knee forward. You can also draw the left knee on up, reach for the back of the hamstring. Just make sure the shoulders are able to come back and anchor to the floor. 90 degrees in the ankles for back pigeoners. Everybody holding here in this pose, finding that support where you need it. Settling into this posture, settling into the body with those inhales and exhales. Taking a moment to process that emotion of anger. Remember, we can always just kind of lean into the emotion and softly breathe through it. It can be as simple as that. Other times we need to work through that anger. That's the tapas that I was talking about a little bit earlier in class. So maybe physically moving that emotion through the body with physical movement. Let's take those final few breaths here. Breathe that forgiveness in, help you to process that emotion. Maybe even just cracking open to the possibility of forgiveness if you're not ready to take the full step in. Taking a moment to progress in our journey on the mat every single day, every single breath. Never aiming for perfection. There's no such thing. Just continuing to show up and continuing to take those steps. One more final breath. And when you're ready, whatever area or version of pigeon you're in, we'll go ahead and slowly come on out. For those of you on your back, stay there. The rest of us in full pigeon will meet you. Go ahead and take a little bit of a reset. For those of you in full pigeon, let's go ahead and walk the feet up, small little steps up to the hands. And we'll come down into a little power ball. Eye gaze comes in front of us. Let's see if we can come down to the glutes. Try not using the hands if that's possible. If you need them, bring them on in. And a slow roll back. Everybody rolling it out on the back here. You're exactly where you need to be. One more roll, coming back to center. Let's go ahead, stretch the feet on up towards the sky. Point and flex your toes here, circle the ankle, and then we're going to find a little shaking out. When you're ready, arms and hands sticking up towards the ceiling. Let's go ahead and shake. Whenever we bring shaking medicine, vibration into the body, it's like a little reset for the nervous system, helping to release emotions, past experiences that may be stuck within the cells, helping to release. Whenever you're in yoga, sometimes you'll feel emotions come up. Sometimes there's tears, sometimes there's laughter. That's the most beautiful thing. That's the energy that needs to release. 3, 2, and 1. Take it on down, nice and easy. Find some length through the body. As you stretch down through the feet, hands reach up over the top of the head. Ballerina arms, so you can interlace the fingers, creating a little hoop or loop over the top of the head. Or if you'd rather, you can come into Kali Mudra. Interlace the fingers, you would release the pointer. Try to keep the palms together, left thumb is crossed over right. Take a moment here as you find that length in the body. Sink down into the heels, lift up through the arms and shoulders, and softly release back to the floor. Take the left ankle, cross it over the right. Take a moment here to sink back into that left shoulder and left hip. And then see if you want to walk the upper body over to the right a few inches. Make sure that that left side of the body doesn't curl up off of the mat. Try not to physically take the body too far. Allow for a little space for that breath to do the work. A nice full inhale into those intercostal muscles in between the ribs.
Remembering that gallbladder meridian, where it runs. So working on that left side. Visualize your breath moving up and down from the outer edge of that left eye all the way down to the fourth toe on that left foot. Breathing into those points, that space on the scalp as well. Even though we only have one gallbladder in our body, we have two meridians that run down right and left side to create balance. And even if you've had the gallbladder removed, energetically, that organ is still there. Final 2 to 3 breaths. And slowly straighten it out. Uncross that left foot after you straighten out the upper body. We'll bring the hands back down. Draw the knees back up. Take a moment here, and again, find a little rock and roll. Find all areas of the back, all the way from that right side and the ribs, all the way over to the left side and the ribs. Rolling over that sacrum area as well, all the way from the outside of the right hips, all the way over to the outside of the left hips. Come on back to center when you're ready. Let's go ahead and lengthen it down. Free feet stretch beneath us. Sink down into the heels, reach up through the fingertips. Find a little wiggle here, a little sway. And gently release. Go ahead and bring the hands back into whatever hand position you had before. Mimic what you did on the other side. And when you're ready, we'll take that right foot, gently cross it over the left. Take a few breaths here. Just let that right hip and right shoulder sink back to the earth. And if you decide, maybe walk the shoulders over a little bit, finding a little more stretch along that right side body. Remember not to take it too far. We'll let the breath fill in, and towards the end of that breath, you'll feel the fullness of the stretch. You can always adjust, coming a little bit further into this crescent moon shape or straightening out a little bit. When we do this pose standing, it's Ardha Chandrasana. And when we do this supported by the earth, it's Banana Asana. When we keep Kali Mudra, where the pointers are released, all the other fingers are interlaced, continuing on this side to keep that left thumb crossed over the right. Relaxing the facial muscles, drawing the breath down that meridian line on the right side of the body. Inhale through the side of that right eye. Let that breath fill the skull. Come down the side body underneath that armpit, all the way down to the fourth toe on the right foot. Softening the inner edges of the eyes, taking your final 3 to 4 breaths here in your Banana Asana. Inhale and exhale. Slowly release whenever you're ready. Straighten out that upper body, uncross that right foot. Let's go ahead, once again, bring the feet to the mat. Take a few knee sways, or Appa Asana, child's pose inverted on the back, taking a few rolls. All the way from that right side body, all the way to the left side body. Getting everything from the base of the neck down to the tailbone. Beautiful job. Let's go ahead and come on back to center whenever you're done. If you need a few more rocks and rolls, go ahead and take them. Once we come back to center, let's go ahead and reach for the outer edges of the feet. Bring the feet on up, finding happy baby.
If the arms are a little shorter than you anticipated this morning, you can always bring the hands down on the outsides of the calves, the ankle, maybe backs of the knees. Remember, this is where the meridian line runs. So no matter where you hold on here to the legs, you're getting in that energetic line. And if you're able to grab onto the feet, go ahead and take that thumb to the fourth toe. Let the heels stay on top of the knees, gently drawing down either through the soles of the feet or sides of the legs. See if you can find a little length in that spine. So see if you can flatten it out all the way from the crown of the head down to the tailbone. Breathing into the body, and as you exhale, soften across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Let the shoulders draw back and anchor to the mat. Another few breaths here. Jaw is soft. Beautiful. Soften into the body. Let that left heel gently come in towards the groin. See if you can extend out through that right leg. If you have a strap, that can be something to bring in here. I know that's a long reach for that leg, so bring that strap in if you need to. Stretch out through the heel. Find a few breaths down and along that right leg. When you're ready to switch it up, bring that right foot back in. And we'll start to stretch through that left leg. Push through the heel. Breathe all the way down that leg. Inhale and exhale. One more full breath into that left leg. Softly draw both heels on in. And let's go ahead, drop the feet, outer corner edges of the feet down to the mat, coming into our reclining bound angle pose. Take a moment here as you wiggle into your knees, softly fluttering those butterfly wings. And then gently coming down into stillness. Feel free to bring in some blocks, giving you a little support on the outer edges. Stick the corner in underneath the knee. That way it's a little more comfortable. You don't get that blunt edge of the block. And then find a little space between that tailbone and heels, as much space as you need. Try out a few different variations of the angles of hips and then see where you want to settle in here. Bringing one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Relax through the arms and the shoulders. And if any pose that we take during class doesn't fit with your body, doesn't feel good, maybe you're working through something, maybe it's an injury or an imbalance, adjust as you need to. We'll take about 5 more breaths here. And see if you can remember back to the beginning of class. When I asked you to roll to one side or the other, right or left, see if you can remember without any stress or strain. And if you don't remember, that's okay. Don't worry about it. If you do remember, see if you can roll on to the opposite side of the body. If you started out on the right, roll on to the left and vice versa. Remember, as we roll on to the right side of the body, we're working with that heart energy. And then when we roll on to the left, we're working a little bit more with digestion. Give yourself another little hug here. Starting to acknowledge all the unique little things that make you, you. Taking a moment to fully love yourself here, fully inhaling all those different attributes that make you so amazing and unique and wonderful. And then you decide where you would like to finish off your practice today. Maybe you want to stay on the side in fetal pose. Maybe you want to roll to the belly or back to the back. As we continue through this year, and I apologize if I said this at the beginning of class. Sometimes when I double up the classes, I forget which class I told it to. But my intention for this year, I usually give myself plenty of time. Sometimes I don't have it within the month of January. Sometimes it takes me a few weeks or a few months. But this year, especially after 2020, I'm really going to be focusing on self-care and self-exploration. What is it? Who am I? And so if you'd like to join me on that journey this year, we'll kind of weave that into our practice along with the different meridians and just kind of moving our way through the emotions and kind of working through all that happened last year so that we can find ourselves back in balance. So as we start to move our way onto our back, I'll be bringing in some affirmations for our final Shavasana for loving the body. And so once you find that nice, comfortable, soft space, no strain on the muscles or the joints, and then coming back to our Ujjayi breath. Relaxing the brow, relaxing the inner edges of the eyes, and finding that balance with the inhales and exhales. Soft engagement on the back of the throat, lifting the back corner edges up and in, and finding a half smile or a smirk appear on the face. As we continue to breathe, inhaling these words. I love my body. My body loves to be healthy. My heart is the center of love. My blood has life and vitality. Every cell in my body is loved. All of my organs work perfectly. I see with love and I hear with compassion. I move easily and comfortably. My feet dance through life. I bless my food with love, and water is my favorite beverage. I know how to take care of myself. I am healthier than I have ever been. I appreciate my glorious body. I am healthy, healed, and whole. Inhale and exhale. Taking a few more breaths here and just allowing those words to seep into the cells, the energy of those thoughts and those affirmations. Slowly integrating the energy of that intention and the movement of that energy of our asana practice, helping to manifest whatever it is that focal point may be for you. From the very depth, on the very bottom of my heart to the beauty in yours, thank you for joining me this morning. Coming together in community, sharing this beautiful energy and continuing to show up for your own personal practice. The light in me honors the beautiful light in you. I honor the work that you do both on and off the mat. From my heart to yours this morning, happy Saturday. Namaste. Again, continue to take the time that you need here on your mat. If you're needing a little more yoga during your weekend, we've added to the schedule. So we have a 2 p.m. this afternoon with beautiful Mr. Ben Mosier, who's one of our recent graduates. And then again, tomorrow morning, we've added a Sunday 9 a.m. with Laura. And it's a wonderful class, such a beautiful person, both of them, and both new graduates. So feel free to join us. We have a few more classes adding to the schedule here for the month of February, kind of bumping it up a little bit. All right, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Otherwise, it was my sincere pleasure to be here with you this morning. Here's to a beautiful day ahead. Thank you guys.